8:34 Central African time. You're still tuned in to News and Views. Myself, Salaila Makudia. It's time for our hashtag Africa Focus feature. This part of a show where we look at some of the biggest stories on the African continent, stories that need attention from you and I, and are not spoken about enough as nearly as they should. And this time around, we'll be focusing on Mozambique's northern Cabo Delgado province, which for a long time now has been at the center of one of Africa's deadliest but least reported conflicts. Thousands have been killed. More than 1 million people have been displaced. And despite military intervention from regional forces, the insurgency continues to evolve. This is all the while that the SADC region, I think in particular, has been quite silent about it, not acting as much as you would expect them to. And the violence, well, it is linked to extremist groups. Many analysts argue that the roots of the conflict run a bit much deeper than that, and they encapsulate, I think, some of the failures of the government in that part of Mozambique, and this include poverty, marginalization, weak governance, and competition over the region's vast natural gas and mineral resources. So, what is really fueling this insurgency, and what does it mean for Mozambique and the wider Southern African region? Because it does impact all of us. And joining us now is Andre Mulungo from the Center for Democracy and Human Rights, coming to us live from Maputo. Andre, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on the show.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you, Salam Media, for the opportunity to join and to share the situation now in Cabo Delgado regarding the terrorism.
No, pleasure is all ours. Andre, just for the benefit of our listeners who maybe haven't followed this conflict quite closely, just a short synopsis. How would you describe the current security situation in northern Mozambique, especially the Cabo Delgado region? Are tensions being quelled? Is the government getting a grip of the situation?
First, let me say that we are facing as a country terrorism since 5 October 2017. At some point, we received help from Rwandan troops and also from the regional force called Samim. After this intervention, it was possible, for instance, to take control of some areas, such as Musimbo da Praia, that it was under control of the terrorism. But the situation is not good. The conflict far from over. The armed troops remain active, particularly in remote areas of Cabo Delgado, where they continue to launch attacks, displace communities, and create fear. The violence has become more dispersed and unpredictable rather than completely defeated. So the scenario now is the continuation of the attacks and the yes.
I think when you read about Cabo Delgado and northern Mozambique, it is in the situation there, it is almost framed as terrorism. You know, it's a story that we've seen in other parts of the world, in the Middle East. But if you try and peel back the layers, it feels slightly different. Would you say is that too simplistic? You know, saying the driver of the violence in northern Mozambique is simply terrorism, or there's a bit more to it? Is there other elements that could be pointed out that you could say have led to where we currently find ourselves?
Yeah, I think it's too simplistic to try to see or to understand what's happening in Cabo Delgado has only tourism. I think that what's important now to understand is that we have a combination of historical issues such as marginalization, weak state presence in some areas of Cabo Delgado. For the citizens, the face of the state that they see there are only the security forces, are polices and militaries. In terms of social service, they don't see the social service. So they see only the state because of the presence of militaries and police. And we have the issues such as poverty, youth unemployment. That is a big problem. We have a lot of youth without jobs, but not only without the jobs, but without schools and without a hope that things can change in their lives. But we have also a bad governance. We have local grievance. Extremist groups have exploited their frustration to recruit members and gain the influence. So when we have areas with a lot of frustrations, it can help also the insurgent in terms of recruiting. I mean, young people to their groups.
I want to come back to that gap of a visible government or a face of visible government in northern Mozambique. Because when you think Mozambique, especially if you are in South Africa, if you not think about the beautiful beaches of Shai and the bustling city of Maputo, you don't often associate Mozambique with instability. It's one of the regions in the SADC region which is relatively stable. But why in the northern parts there is that gap, and a gap that is ultimately opened space for insurgency to rear its ugly head?
I think that we, as a state, historically, we neglected the investment in the center and in the north of Mozambique. But this is not a neglect only regarding the center or the north. It's because we have a system that everything is concentrated in Maputo. It's a system that even the elites that were born in province from center or north, all of them are concentrated in Maputo. So the fact here is that we neglected the investment. We didn't invest as a country in other regions, in the center, in the north, but even here in the south. If you go to Gaza, if you go to Inyambani, you will see the poverty there. You will see that there is no investment in social areas. So the problem is that we are not investing as was supposed to have those investment in other areas. So we have what we call regional asymmetries, and this is obviously one of the cases or the causes, of the conflicts. Not only conflicts related to terrorism in Cabo Delgado, but the conflicts, social tensions, including the tensions that we have after election. We used to say that the conflict are only related to the election, but are also related with the sense that the state don't serve us. We don't feel, for instance, the dividend of democracy.
I want us to do a quick break. When we come back, I want to focus on some of the mitigating features that have been put in place. There's been military support, I think, from Rwanda over the years and other regional partners. Has that yielded any kind of results? And also look at the billions and billions of dollars that have been invested in the natural gas projects in Cabo Delgado. Have they benefited local communities in any way? Because I think that's very, very imperative to talk about. But we'll do all of that after the short break.
We work hard to build our homes, businesses, and futures. Protecting them shouldn't mean compromising the values that matter most. ACNE Group of Companies, a Muslim-owned business, offers our short-term diamond insurance covers founded on ethical principles, transparency, integrity, and responsible service. This allows us to provide insurance solutions that align with ethical values while maintaining the protection and service standards you expect. To ensure complete peace of mind, All premiums, claims, and premium investment funds are managed through designated Sharia-compliant bank accounts, reflecting our ongoing commitment to ethical and responsible financial practices. From your first inquiry to the moment you need to claim, we are committed to providing professional, transparent, and reliable support. Choose insurance that reflects your values while giving you confidence and peace of mind. Speak to ACNE Group of Companies today to learn more about our commercial, engineering, professional indemnity, and liability diamond insurance covers. Call Rafik Isaacs on 084-822-6570. ACNE Group of Companies comprises authorized financial services providers under FSP numbers 43281, 4553, and 45915. Products are underwritten by New National Assurance Company Limited, FSP number 2603.
Almost 1 in 5 South African children attend school each day without having eaten breakfast. This seriously affects their ability to concentrate and understand lessons. The Al-Imdad Foundation's Make Breakfast Possible campaign allows learners to enjoy a high-energy cereal at the start of the school day. Help children to focus on learning and not hunger. Let's make breakfast possible today. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Gaza needs your support more than ever. Homes have been shattered and families have lost everything. With your support, our teams are delivering clean water tankers, feeding the hungry, and assisting orphans who have no one left. Let us give Gaza whatever help we can. African Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
8:48 Central African Time. You're still tuned in to News and Views. Myself, Salailo Makudir. And if you just joined us, we're having a conversation around Mozambique, and we're trying to understand what is fueling the deadly insurgency in Cabo Delgado, and trying to get more insight on that. And we're speaking to Brother Andre Mulungo, who's coming to us from Maputo. And before we went on to that short break, thank you so much for staying with us. I wanted to touch on some of the interventions that have been put in place, the mitigating kind of features and factors that the Mozambican government and I think the SADC region have tried to put in place to ensure that there's some kind of regional, I don't know, showing from the government. One thing that stands out is Rwanda. I think they've been giving military support to the region for some time now, and I think other regional partners in the SADC region have also tried to assist the Mozambican government. Have those interventions made any kind of difference in the Cabo Delgado region? Has it seen the Mozambican government try and gain some ground when it comes to fighting insurgency, or have they merely just contained the problem to make sure that it doesn't spread more outwardsly?
Two things are important to underline. First, we have to recognize that the intervention has been significant and is very important. I'm talking about the intervention of Rwanda, but also I'm talking about the intervention of Samim that has left Mozambique. As I said before, when Rwanda came to Mozambique, it was possible to take control as a state. The district called it Musimba da Praia, but also Samimi had a very important or played a very important area. To recover strategic areas, improving security around key infrastructures, and reduce the insurgency territorial control. As I said, it was possible to take Musimba da Praia. However, it has largely contained rather than resolved the conflict. As I mentioned before, the conflict continues. But one thing that is important here to underline is the fact that when we are talking specifically about the Rwandan troops, they are involved more in protecting the area where the project of Total is based. And this is very problematic because now the question is, what are they there to do? Is to protect the citizens, is to protect the Mozambicans, or are they only to protect the project? And the one thing that is very important and is making part of our debate is now is why do we decide to leave the regional force leave Mozambique? Because the areas that was controlled by the regional troops now are very vulnerable because the regional force left Cabo Delgado. So both was very important, but we have concerns about the kind of intervention of Rwanda, and we are also concerned as a country regarding the decision of leaving the regional force leave Mozambique, while we still need support to control the terrorism.
You mentioned Total, and I think this is very, very important. There have been billions and billions of dollars that have been invested into some of the natural gas projects in Cabo Delgado. Can you give us, a sense of the situation there, and to what extent have some of those developments benefited local communities, if at all?
Clearly, is a fact. The expected benefits have not been widely felt by the local communities. And we still have conflicts. The problem is that those conflicts are not reported properly because of many reasons. One of them is because Cabo Delgado and the areas of the conflict are very, very, very militarized areas, and it makes it difficult for the journalists to be there to report, and it's also difficult for the activists, for the human rights defenders to be in place just to report what is going on. We have conflicts, and we have frustration among the communities. We have so the fact is that the communities don't feel the benefits. Many people continue facing poverty, unemployment, limited public service, and inadequate infrastructures. Some communities have also experienced displacement linked to the project, and this enormous investment and limited local development has contributed, as I said, or as I mentioned before, to fashion and itself as
I want to come back to a point that you raised, the fact that regional troops have begun to scale back. Rwanda, I think, has completely pulled out from Cabo Delgado. Is there a risk that insurgency could regain momentum, seeing that those interventions have been let loose?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't understand.
No worries. I wanted to come back to a point that you mentioned, the fact that Rwanda and the regional troops, the support that was put in place for the Mozambican government by the SADC region has since scaled back. Is there a risk that the insurgency could regain momentum and regain some of the land that was taken back from the Mozambican government? Andrea, are you there?
His network is really bad. It's slow.
All right. I think this is where we're going to end the conversation. Unfortunately, the network is not doing us any kind of justice. We're going to be wrapping up this conversation on Mozambique, but I think a very, very concerning turn of events there. Hope we'll another time, another day, chat to Andrew Mulungo from the Center of Democracy and Human Rights. But yeah, going to turn attention to other things. After the break, we'll be returned to South Africa and look at some of the internal issues that we're facing here because, hey, still a lot internally here in South Africa. Otherwise, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with you after this.